Want to make a powerful difference? Get certified as a positivity practitioner. Hi, I'm Dr. Paul Jenkins. I am the founder of Live on Purpose and the positivity model, which gets so far beyond the trite, fluffy, just think positive that you hear all the time, into the psychology behind how to actually operate the equipment of your own mind. In this video, I'll share that model with you and some ways that you can start sharing that with other people. Our thoughts drive everything. And you've probably heard before that your feelings are controlled by your thoughts. Your thoughts determine how you show up and what you do and what results you get. This is so fundamental. You know, I consult with people all the time in industry or in companies or organizations, and leaders of these groups almost always understand that it starts with mindset. You know, where your mind is, that's what makes the biggest difference and controls all of the outcomes. So before I share the model with you, let me just introduce a concept that I teach all of my clients. It's called metacognition. Metacognition is a fancy psychological word. If you break it down, cognition means thinking. And if we put that right here on this level, metacognition is a higher level. It's thinking about thinking. Notice that you can do this. This is really good news because metacognition creates a little space. And in that space is where choice exists. That's where we get to start steering our thinking. You're going to find this. Either you drive your thoughts or your thoughts drive you. I would really love to put as many people as possible into the driver's seat so that they're driving their thoughts. And we're not just victims of circumstance, getting tossed around by anything that could happen to us in the world. Instead, we take it on as an agent and choose the direction, actually steer our own mind. To do that, you have to understand how your mind works. So here's a quick overview of the model. It's like the operating instructions for the equipment of your own mind. I've put this together as a visual model, and I'd be happy to give you a PDF copy of this model so that you can follow along. Go to the URL on the screen right now, drpauljenkins.com/themodel. That's what we're talking about here, so that you can get the visual reference to what I'm referring to. We know that thoughts are important, but not all thoughts are created equal. In fact, there are two basic categories of thought that we need to pay attention to, be aware of, and potentially steer in a different direction. The first type of thought that I want to introduce to you in this model is evaluation. Evaluation meaning judgment. And just notice for a minute that you're constantly doing it. I'm inviting you to that level of metacognition. Okay, think about your thinking and see that you're constantly judging. Aren't you? Do you notice it? You judge yourself. You judge your community. You judge your family. You judge the government. You're judging me. It's cool, I'm judging you right back. This is how it works. Okay, so notice that it's happening. Now, judgment or evaluation implies comparison with some standard. In other words, to judge something, you have to figure out, well, what am I going to compare it to? My wife is in education, and Vicki has shared with me that there are standards that they compare the kids to or the teachers to see how they're performing. Well, these standards provide a basis of comparison, but your brain has to compare it to something. And so you'll come up with or make up standards of comparison if you don't have them readily available. This is how our brain works. So think about your finances for a minute. How you doing? Okay, now notice that you have an answer to that. Most of the people who are watching this video right now are doing pretty well compared to people who don't have a screen to view a YouTube video. Now, you might have thought, well, I wasn't thinking about that. Of course you weren't. Whatever you were thinking of was the standard that you were using. But when I introduced that other standard, there are a lot of people on this planet who don't have a screen to view a YouTube video on. You do. So how you doing compared to that? Pretty good, right? But then you can also compare how you're doing to people who have far more than you do. And you can think of a few, can't you? Yeah. Now, when you compare yourself to them, how do you feel about where you are? See, that process of evaluation, you can't turn off. It's kind of like gravity. You never get up and think, I wonder if gravity's on today. It tends to be, right? And this is the same way. You can't turn off your evaluation. So the best we can do is steer it in a direction that serves us well. How are you doing? The reality is you're doing exactly as well as you're doing. Now that doesn't sound like I'm giving you information, but really it is what it is. It could always be better. It could always be worse. What are you going to compare it to make your judgment? And I think as you become aware of that process, you can choose. You can choose to say, yeah, I'm doing pretty well, which changes your feelings. Or you can choose to say, nah, I'm not doing very well. Either one is supportable by the evidence. But you're asking your brain to focus on one or the other. That affects how you feel. How you feel affects how you show up. And how you show up creates your results. So let's just be aware of it. I'm not here to tell you how to think. Okay? I really don't have that kind of authority. I just want you to see that you are thinking. Your thinking makes a difference, and you might have the ability to steer that. Now, I said that there's at least two categories of thought. We've talked about evaluation. Let's go to the other category, creation. You can't turn this one off any more than you can turn off evaluation or gravity or anything else that is a natural law or a principle. Creation is where we anticipate or expect or imagine what's coming. And we don't know. One of the ladies in my coaching group, just this week, she submitted a question that said, my son's doing this and that, and I'm afraid that he's going to go to prison and ruin his life and end up homeless. And I don't know, she listed 5 or 6 of these things that she's predicting. What do I do, Dr. Paul? And first I wanted her to see that she's making predictions. She doesn't know what's going to happen. But because her brain is predicting all of these things, she gets anxious. Anxiety is based in prediction, and we're predicting worse things to come. Well, what if you expected or predicted or anticipated that what's coming is even better than what you've already got? Now, you don't know. How you doing next week? You don't know. You've got something to do with it, but you don't know, so all you can do is imagine. See, this is another category of thought where we predict or project or anticipate what is to be. And because we don't know, let's just notice that whatever we're predicting is a guess. Whatever we're predicting is totally made up in our own mind. We don't know what's going to happen. Now, what serves you better? If you predict or expect that what's coming is worse, or if you predict or expect that what's coming is better. Notice what difference that makes in your feelings. This is what we're talking about with positivity. And it really doesn't have that much to do with reality. I mean, the reality is, it is what it is. What we do with it in evaluation mode or in creation mode changes our feelings. I've given you a quick overview of a model that I've spent my career developing. And when I share this with my clients, or when I'm speaking for an association or a company or a large group, people hear this and they realize, wow, this changes the game. If I know how to operate the equipment of my own mind, I can steer this in directions that are going to be really productive for me and for everybody around me. And they want to share it. There's 2 primary ways that you can share this. Probably even more than that, but let's talk about these 2. You can share the videos that I've already produced that explain this model and others related to it. Please share. That's one way to share it. But I work with a lot of people who want to do what I do, to teach other people these principles of positivity and watch with amazement as their lives change. That's a kick. So another way to share these principles is to consider becoming a certified positivity practitioner. Do you have responsibility for a group of people and their mindset? Are you a parent that wants to have better outcomes in your family? Are you a therapist who would like to have more powerful ways to help more people? Are you a coach who's looking for a model that is solid and backed up by the research and clinical experience? If you fit into one of these categories, you're probably a good person to consider becoming a positivity practitioner. And there's a certification available for that. I'm not here to tell you about the certification today. I just want you to know that it is available. Let's see where you are in that process. If you want to get a free assessment, go to the URL on the screen right now, drpauljenkins.com/practitioner quiz. This is where I've set up an assessment to see where you are in the process of becoming a person who can impact the lives of others through sharing principles of positivity. Let's just get a feel for it. And then I will share with you for free. I'm not charging anything for this. All the results from that assessment so you'll know what steps are next. I've been down the path. I can help to walk you through it if you'd like to take that assessment. Now, it's not for everybody, but if it is for you, jump in and grab it. drpauljenkins.com/practitioner quiz. Let's see where you are and what steps might be next to move you forward to becoming a certified positivity practitioner.